I moved into the apartment 3 months ago, drawn by the low rent and the quiet neighborhood. At first, everything was normal. The building was old but sturdy, with narrow hallways and creaky floors that I dismissed as part of its charm. My new home was a one-bedroom unit on the second floor, small but cozy, with a view of the back alley. The first few weeks were uneventful. I settled into a routine, working from home during the day and exploring the neighborhood on weekends. However, about a month in, I began to notice small things that didn't quite add up. It started with the lights. Sometimes they would flicker for no apparent reason, even though I checked all the switches and circuits. One night, I was reading in bed when I heard the sound of footsteps outside my door. At first, I thought it was just the building settling or a neighbor moving around. But then I heard it again, an uneven, dragging sound that didn't belong to any person I knew. I got up to look out the peephole, but there was nothing there. The street was empty, silent except for the distant hum of traffic. The following nights were worse. Objects began to move on their own. A glass would be on the kitchen counter one morning and missing the next. I always found it in the sink, undisturbed. My belongings seemed to shift positions when I wasn't looking. It made me feel like someone was watching me, always just out of sight. I tried to rationalize it. Maybe it was just my mind playing tricks on me, especially with the stress of working from home alone. But the feeling of being watched didn't go away. In fact, it grew stronger. I started hearing voices when I was alone, soft murmurs that I couldn't quite make out. They seemed to come from inside the walls, echoing through the rooms. One evening, after a particularly long day, I decided to confront whatever was happening. I sat in my living room, determined to stay calm. I asked loudly, "Is someone there?" The room stayed silent, but the temperature dropped sharply. I grabbed my phone to call a friend for support, but the battery was dead. Panic set in as I realized I was truly alone. The silence was oppressive, broken only by the distant sounds of the city. I tried to breathe steadily, telling myself it was just my imagination. As I sat there trying to steady my nerves, I noticed something on the floor. It was a small, old photograph, a picture of the previous tenant and their family. I didn't remember seeing it before. Curious and uneasy, I picked it up. The faces in the photo looked familiar, but I couldn't place them. Suddenly, the lights went out completely. I fumbled for my phone again, managing to turn on the flashlight. The beam revealed the photograph lying on the floor, but now there was something written on the back. "Leave now, before it's too late." My heart raced. Fear clouded my judgment as I contemplated leaving the apartment. Before I could make a move, the front door handle started to shake violently. I backed away, my mind racing. The handle stopped abruptly, and everything went silent once more. I knew I couldn't stay. Grabbing my essentials, I hurried out into the night, not looking back. Since then, I've moved to a new place, but the memory of that apartment lingers. Sometimes when I'm alone, I hear faint sounds that remind me of what I left behind. I can't explain what happened, but I know one thing for sure. I won't be staying in that silent apartment again.